It started a conversation of, is Steph now the greatest point guard of all time ahead of Magic Johnson? I understand where that conversation is coming from. I think if Steph wins a championship this season, then I think he might leapfrog Magic. I don't know. For me, Magic is the greatest point
Hold
guard
on, I'm
of
just
all.
calling the Michigan State Alumni Association.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that,
I have an incident report on Young. Yeah, okay.
I think I got to see how this continues to go, the rest of his career goes, because Magic, to me, I think there's a whole generation that does not understand Magic Johnson epitomized winning. I mean, like, basically he set the standard. Yes, the Lakers won so many championships before him, but he is the definition of Showtime. Without Magic Johnson, you don't have the Showtime Lakers. And what he did, not only with his assists, not only with the flashy fast breaks, but just the will to win, like imposing his will on other teams, I just think is so overlooked that's why he's, the greatest point guard of all time for me.
Before there was positionless NBA, for anyone who's watching, and we love that you're getting into the NBA at an early age and they're learning your history here. Magic Johnson played center in an NBA Finals game against Philadelphia.
Dude, like early in his career. You know what I mean?
It was his rookie season.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. I mean, filling in for the captain, like basically, and you throw him into these NBA all time. We're talking about he won all time NBA Finals. He didn't just win 5 championships. He had to go through the one of the greatest franchises of all time in the Boston Celtics. Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish, all those guys. So like, Magic to me is still the greatest point guard of all time. And it's really hard for me to not put Steph in my all-time top 5 right now, because of I am a huge fan of Steph Curry. Like, I am a huge fan of his greatness, how he's changed the game in many ways. He just continues to amaze me. So I'm not ready to put him there in my all-time greatest yet at point guard, but he could very well be on his way. Dave, let's get into Lakers Warriors, man. I am so excited. You've seen this rivalry of Steph versus LeBron live in person. You've chronicled it. What do you think this latest wrinkle to this rivalry is going to be like, after all the ones you've seen in the finals?
LeBron said something really interesting at practice Monday when I asked him about Steph, and just basically the question was, what is it about Steph, consider you guys have been such fierce rivals, that allows you to openly have such a deep admiration for him? Because sometimes that doesn't go that way, because of you've had so many games with so much at stake over the course of your career. Resentment could build, et cetera, et cetera. And honestly, like, if you look at the general, I guess, Twitter temperature of the day-to-day, praise that LeBron gets versus Steph gets, I'd say Steph's probably a little bit higher. Now, I'm not saying that Steph doesn't have haters as well, but there could be reasons for LeBron to not view Steph this way. But he said, one, you respect his work ethic, and he said 9 out of 10 times, if you have someone that works that hard, there's going to be results there. But then he said that we both want to etch our names in the records books, but in our own way. And I love that, because it was him acknowledging that, there's more than one way to skin a cat. And the way LeBron does it, he truly believes it is the best way to do it. But he acknowledges that the way Steph does it, he can't find any faults in it, because Steph does it at such a high level. I just thought that was cool. And I think that they are both have gotten to a point in their career. Certainly LeBron has. We know that with the scoring record this year, and just him focusing on his son's ascent in the sport, he knows that the light at the end of the tunnel is making him have to wear sunglasses indoors sometimes. It's getting so bright. But Steph's starting to get to that point too. He's 3 years younger, and I'm not trying to start the Steph retirement tour, but I think there will be a bit of whimsy to this series, because they both recognize that this could be the last time
right
to have something like this and it will force them to look back a little bit when they've been so focused at looking forward.
Don't you think, Dave, if I remember watching some of the finals between LeBron and Steph, and when they would jaw and chirp at each other, it was always like LeBron's respect for guys that were bigger, more athletic, always came naturally. Whereas I think like Steph kind of had to earn that from LeBron, like because you would see sometimes when he would block block Steph's shot, LeBron would be like, "Come on, man," you know what I mean? Like, or Steph would get in his face and like try to talk trash to him and be tough, and LeBron would be like, "Come on, man." But then it was like, "Hey, dude, this guy's for real," you know what I mean? Like, yes, he had a great team. I think like LeBron looked at it like Warriors were a great team, right? But then all of a sudden it was like, you know what? Steph is a great, great talent superstar. I think it took some time for LeBron, like, because LeBron at that point in his career, he was just so good, so much better than others. Like, the chief competitors that are coming at him. I think like for whatever reason, sometimes people would look at Steph Curry and be like, yeah, he's a great 3-point shooter, but he needs these screens and he needs his team to free him up. You're like, I don't look at Steph that way. I look at Steph as just like, dude, he's an incredible talent. Yes, the Warriors are a great team and they do have a great scheme, but I feel like if he were on another team, he still would be just as good. Do you feel like it took like Steph had to earn that from LeBron?
Yeah, I do. And I think that's a good way to put it. I mean, even listen,
Which is weird saying, right? As great as
it
he
is,
was,
it is,
as
it
great
is
as he
strange.
is.
But I think there's a kind of a too much too soon view that LeBron has when he looks around the league sometimes, when he sees the NBA kind of machine get behind a player. And
Too much too soon. Memphis Grizzlies.
Exactly.
Sorry, Memphis.
Now, actually, as an individual player, LeBron has shown a great deal of respect and almost like parental care for Ja Morant over the years. So I wouldn't quite put that in the same category, but certainly the Memphis Grizzlies. He for years now thought they were too big for their britches, and then he clearly showed them that in the first round. But yeah, I mean, there's just been certain guys where it's irked him a little bit that LeBron, one of his mantras is earned, not given, and he felt like he has worked really hard to be the face of the league for a long time, and there's a lot that goes into that. And then, everyone's getting tired of me, and you're bringing in this babyface assassin. What's going on? He's better than me, Yeah. I think there was a level of that, like what's going on here. And 2015 Finals, Matthew Dellavedova is giving Steph Curry fits for a couple games in the series, but again, like I don't think LeBron, when he looks at himself in the mirror back then, is like, oh, I know Matthew Dellavedova couldn't do crap with me. So like, what's going on here? But obviously over the years, I think 2017, that was a 4-1 series, but it was a really competitive 4-1 series. And people in Cleveland still believe that if Kyle Korver hits that shot in the corner, maybe the Cavs win that championship. But in that series, in a crucial moment, Steph beats LeBron off the dribble in Oracle, and LeBron was as locked in as he possibly could be in that possession. And Steph was just better in that moment. And I'm not saying I've ever talked to LeBron about that specific play, but to me, that kind of turns the tide in my head in terms of, well, then Steph obviously wins in 17 and 18. And ever since then, you've seen a larger degree of respect from LeBron to Steph, picking him in his all-star teams and things like that whenever Steph gets brought up.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.